Thank you, sir. Thank you for gracing us this morning. Very timely kasi ngayon may MRT 7 na groundbreaking sa SMC Group na And you know, Mr. Johnson Prefeña is the original MRT na Mr. Bob. Can I call Mr. Bob? Natatanda ko kasi si Mr. Prefeña noon, yung panahon ni Presidente Estrada, sa harap namin, nakipagtawaran si Presidente Estrada, ina-inaugurate na 1998, the first ride sa MRT 3. Sabi niya kay Mr. Soprepenya, Bob, ang mahal naman dito, 15 pesos. Hindi makakasakay mga masa ko dito. Babaan mo naman. Aba, yung 15 pesos, naging 7 pesos. Kaya naging popular ang MRT and it is now flourishing. Unfortunately, through the years, na siyempre, mga degradation na ng and other sort of things. And as you know now, nanalo nga si former MRT 3 General Manager Albe Tangkol kahapon. Nag-hag order ngayon ng Rojas and Company from even mentioning his case. So, I will jump to another point. That's very historical to. Si Mr. Johnson Prefeña also is the son of the original college assurance plan that unfortunately floundered because of mismanagement of the previous administration. I mean, hindi CAP itself, but because of the over-regulatory powers of the government, ay naging one of the victims of those things. Na ang common thread baga is Mar Rojas. Unfortunately, may common thread. Si Mar Rojas pa rin. Kasi tatanda ko si Mar, he was the senator then when he was espousing the pre-need companies. And now, kahapon, nakapanood sa TV, Loyola plans, another pre-need, is na maraming claims na naman. Kala ko ba nasolve na naman yung pre-need? Pinagmamalaki nga yung pre-need nga bill nga, pre-need law na will protect the public. How come? Mukhang systemic na to. Ano pang itong pinagagawa mo, Mar? So, it's better to hear it from the person who's been into it and explain to us what's really the problem of government. Hindi yata tao rin. I mean, it's sistema ba yan o yung tao, the leader that we have? So, pwede natin ipa-segue sa politika kasi we are electing a new president. Di ba? Magandang topic natin si Mr. Bob Soprefeña sa combination of all of these things. So, we will ask him for the opening statement. Sir?
Yeah, thank you, Maricho. And thank you for inviting me here this morning. First of all, with regards to CAP, it's my father's company. I'm actually not even a shareholder, an officer, director. I'm not even connected with it. So sometimes when they say Robert Sobrepena was responsible, I was never even connected with CAP during that time, no? Now, investments have been made in real estate, and some of them my projects, true, but by that company. But most of this actually made money, if not all of them, no? Especially during the heyday of the real estate days, no? What really happened, and this is actually how my father explained it to me. What really happened to the pre-need industry is, I think it was a victim of the wrong regulatory policies that were unilaterally implemented without really listening to the pre-need industry. And the reason I say this was because that entire change was brought about because of a certain agile report, which is made by an American USA agile, which really protects the American industries, no? And in this case, the insurance industries, because as we know, the insurance industry in the Philippines is dominated by US or foreign multinationals, no? And so the Agile report said na mali daw yung regulation nung pre-need, which is strange because there is no such thing as a pre-need industry in the US. So for them to understand enough to be able to say na mali is completely wrong and unfounded because they don't know it themselves. The pre-need industry is a Philippine-made industry. For instance, at that time, the pre-need industry was growing at about 15% per annum. The insurance industry was actually contracting by around 10 to 15% per annum during those days. Now, ang nangyari doon, based on the Agile, the SEC came up with a policy. I'll try to make it simple, no? Kasi there is this word called Actuarial Reserve Liability, ARL. Ngayon, pag nadinig pa lang natin yung Actuarial Reserve Liability, ARL, many people turn off kasi mukhang complicated eh.
And na-educate sila sa SS pension, remember?
Ayun, correct. But I'll tell you the difference. Sa insurance, somebody can die tomorrow. A storm can happen tomorrow, a fire can happen tomorrow, and so the insurance companies have to set up a fund which is based on an actuarial reserve liability study. Kasi it can happen tomorrow.
Anytime.
Anytime. So you have to be prepared
With the funds.
with the funds to react, di ba?
Opo.
Kaya may ARL. That is an insurance term.
Okay.
Now, pre-need, take education for instance, which is CAP. When your kid is born, there is no way he will go to college tomorrow.
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Kahit gaano ka-genius yan. Di ba?
Yeah.
He will
Naka-program na baga.
He will go to college more or less 16 to 17
Yeah,
years
Naka-programa na yan.
from now.
Mm.
So from inception, the industry, it means that the fund has to grow a certain amount every year, 10 to 15% per annum. Para naman in 17 years, it's gonna be enough to pay the tuition. So the only regulated amount before was the growth per annum. Because if you hit your growth per annum, in 17 years, you will have enough money to pay the tuition. Di ba?
Apo.
Ngayon, anong ginawa ng ARL? Yung liability 17 years from now, ginawa ng tomorrow.
Mas malaki yun.
Siyempre.
Oo.
Number one, there's no need for it because the kid isn't going to college tomorrow. If you do that, immediately you will have a negative. Kaya nagkaroon ng negative. Okay, so that's the difference.
Na-front load sa present yung lahat ng liability
now,
mo.
it is not a real liability. It is not even a liability that you should
But
reflect
16 years from now
on your
pa.
balance sheet
Oo.
because it is not a real liability. No, but ginawa ng SEC by a stroke of a pen, they made it a requirement, a regulatory procedure.
That was in
policy.
2002?
202? Was it 2002? 202. So all the pre-need industry and CAP being the leader in education, from healthy, robust, huge positive surpluses, overnight, nagkaroon ng negative. By a stroke of a pen, nagkaroon ng negative. Why? Because instead of just monitoring the growth per annum, fast forward lahat.
Na-front-load nga.
Na-front-loaded lahat. So it was a reserve liability that is not really needed but was required because of the insurance industries. No? So yun yung nangyari. Kaya overnight, nagkaroon ng mga negatives lahat. As a matter of fact, in court, I was reading the transcripts of a certain court. Nung pumasok sa rehab court yan, the judge asked the SEC, is that liability that you call a negative liability for CAP, is that a real liability? Ang sagot ng SEC, no. It's merely an actuarial. So it was not a real liability. So that regulation, which actually eventually became law for the pre-need industry, I think is the very thing that has to be revisited because that effectively killed the pre-need industry.
In the Philippines.
Yes, if they say CAP was mismanaged, it cannot be CAP because all the companies in the pre-need industry suffered and went into deficits. All, no exception.
Yeah.
Philam plans had to sell their pet. Lahat.
Subsequently.
Pacific plans, lahat.
Bakit nga di ba, nakasunod-sunod?
So it cannot be mismanagement of the company because all went under. It was a wrong regulatory policy that was implemented. Not understanding that the pre-need is the opposite of insurance because the pre-need liability happens 17 years down the road, not tomorrow. There's no need for a company to put the money in for that. There's no way it will happen.
Let's give credit to where credit is due. Your late father...
Still alive.
Still alive. Okay. Sorry. Pardon. Is Mr.
Enrique Sobrepeña.
He is the father of pre-need.
He is the father of the pre-need industry, and he started this with Pacific Plans with Yuchenko as his partner.
Tapos nag-separate na
Then he
sila.
Now, just to distinguish, no, yung memorial plans,
Nung Loyola naman.
well, yung mga memorial
Oo.
in case of death,
Oo.
applicable yung actuarial reserve liability because somebody can die tomorrow.
Yun.
Okay, but the problem with the law is they did not make a distinction between pre-need memorial plans and college plans or pension plans for that matter. Kasi yung college and pension, talagang number of years yan, 15 years, 20 years down the road. No need for an actuarial reserve liability because there's no way it will happen tomorrow. Memorial plans pwede, somebody can die tomorrow, so applicable sa kanya. You see, so they didn't make that distinction, they lumped it all into one. No?
Sir, do you think that actuarial reserve liability is also the problem now of SSS? Na ina-apply nila sa SSS, kaya kakagulo ngayon.
Possibly. Because
Diba?
it's the same regulation, yeah. So actually,
Insurance din naman yung SSS.
yeah, you really have to look at it. And not everything can be governed under the insurance policies, the insurance regulatory guidelines. Because iba yung insurance, iba yung pre-need.
Tsaka yung pension, iba rin yun.
Iba rin yung pension. Pension, if you buy it at a certain age, you will retire in 20 years, 30 years. So again, there's no way you can retire tomorrow. So mapoprogram yun. So the right way to program it is as an investment, di ba? Kasi
Dapat, investment.
dapat it is growing X% every year. So yung growth per year, if you hit that, then you're okay for the year. Kung negative ka, yun yung negative. And that's how it was regulated all the years. CAP, for its case, has spent over 15 billion pesos in tuition fees. They have graduated over 100,000 scholars. Okay? Unfortunately, the regulatory change brought an end to that, as well as the entire pre-need industry, for education.
So that's why you're pushing to revisit, for Congress to revisit the
Congress
law.
should revisit and take a look at the difference between a pre-need that will mature for sure 15 to 20 years from now, as against an insurance policy which is so different, that can happen tomorrow.
So that flaw in the law.
That flaw actually created a problem with the pre-need industry, the educational industry in particular.
So the pre-need in the Philippines cannot.
It cannot really flourish or survive under that kind of regulatory commission.
How many pre-need pa ba natitira sa atin ngayon?
Konting-konti na lang.
Dapat
Lahat ng malalaki na the bigger you are, the larger the negatives became because
Of
lahat
that
yung
law.
mga future liabilities ginawang present. So it was not really actual liabilities, they were what you call contingent and actually maturing many years down the road. So to ask a company to put it all up now would definitely create variances, negative variances.
I was talking with Mr. Bobby Cafe.
Yes.
He's the president sa CAP siya. And he told me na undergoing rehabilitation pa rin ng CAP.
Okay, CAP is under rehab and it has a program to redevelop all of its
Real estate properties.
You know, CAP has more than 50 buildings all over the
Up to
Philippines.
now, yeah.
Up to now, in very good locations. Without debt-free. It's got a huge land bank and it's huge assets. And the plan of CAP is to redevelop it so that it can pay off all the plan holders. So it's under rehab for that purpose.
So you're still sending scholars sa school?
It is still paying. They have paid
As they mature, di ba?
Merong rehab program. Again, they got entangled in, I think, legal problems. Because I think the Insurance Commission opposed the rehab.
Okay.
I don't understand why. The rehab program will result in the plan holders getting more or less 7 to 10 times more than what they would get if it is liquidated. Because if you liquidate, you just sell the land. The Insurance Commission will sell the land.
Sila
yung magbebenta.
They want that job.
They want, I guess. If you have a developer develop it into buildings and condos,
Yes, sir.
then of course the company will have much more money, and that money goes to the plan holders. So that's basically where we are now, So the Insurance Commission is opposing the rehabilitation and the redevelopment of the CAP properties. And that is now pending in the Supreme Court.
Sa Supreme Court, ay how long na yun? How many years
Many
na?
years. I'm not sure. Again, as I said, I'm not an officer of CAP. Maybe at some point you should have a CAP officer give us the details. No?
Okay. Now we move fast forward. Yung sa MRT, ngayon groundbreaking na MRT 7, we are now on the MRT 7. And yet, tapos may announcement ako nabasa, yung MRT 3 daw, there are 2 new coaches coming in. And we had Mr. Bitangkol about a few weeks ago, and he was telling us, ba't inuuna nila coaches? Unahin mo na lang i-rehabilitate yung tracks kasi delikado and signaling system. And being the former maintenance, di ba, you have problems with the same problem na, kasi your maintenance contract was discontinued, yeah. And now, so, na-chop-chop nila sa iba-ibang maintenance contracts ito, iba ang sumasagot sa pag-repair, maintenance ng elevator, ng escalator, di ba yung so, hindi mo malaman minsan, kung ang reason nila is to pinpoint specific responsibility. Eh, kaso nga, naging chapsoy, hindi compliant, hindi compatible sa system yung apply. And being the former, how do you now see the problem?
Now, we have a huge problem with the MRT, no? Kasi the maintenance providers are all unqualified. All of them are unqualified, financially and technically, starting with PH Trams, and then ATP Global, and then now they have given it to a consortium which is owned 96% owned by Philippine companies who are in agriculture, plumbing, and trading, nothing to do with rail. They have a Korean partner called Busan who owns 4%, and yun ang sinasabi nilang
may expertise.
But they only own 4%. So, see, that's the problem. Philippine companies who have nothing to do with rail are now the ones controlling the company to maintain it. So, but the real problem is this. 2 things. Yung train, ang problema ng train, that should have been tested in China.
Dalian.
Oo, where it came from. When it ran 5,000 kilometers in China, that's when they should have brought it here. That means, yung train muna, you have to test it in ideal track conditions, na okay yung train. Kasi pagka okay na yung train, tsaka mo itetest sa MRT. No? Now, they brought it here, they actually assembled and built it here, which is another problem. And then they're now testing it on the broken down system of the MRT3. Broken down kasi yung mga relays, sira-sira
hindi naman na-rehabilitate eh.
So, dapat nga yan, inuna mo muna yung mga relays, inayos mo yung sistema before you actually start bringing in new coaches. Secondly, they're only testing 2 or 3 coaches. The original contract was to test for a 4-car train. So, you're now testing something different from what you ordered. 4-car train, 4 na bagon.
Yun yung dati.
Yun yung talagang dapat na tinetest nila, a 4-car train. Ngayon, ang tinetest lang nila is 2 to 3 trains. 2 to 3 cars. So,
nagtitipid sila?
Hindi, wala pa yung bagon. Minamadali nila. I think they wanna show something before the current president steps down. No? So, they're rushing everything to be able to show or deliver something before the president steps down. So, I guess political in that sense. No?
You attended the Senate hearing on that problem with Senator Grace Poe.
Yes.
Whatever come out of that hearing?
I attended many hearings, many hours. The Senate came up with a conclusion and a recommendation that draft charges be filed against the DOTC officers, all of them, including Abaya.
Ay, kaso nga, Bitangkol lang, di ba?
So yung Senate, ang nagsabi ng Senate, number 1, dapat find a solution, terminate the existing maintenance provider. Ito yung rekomendasyon ng Senado, no? Terminate your maintenance provider because they're not qualified.
That is PH Trams?
PH Trams, ATP Global, et al. No?
Yun
Secondly, deal with the private sector, which is us, in finding a solution to it. Because they are the owners. and they know best what to do with the system.
You still own MRT3?
Yes, we still own.
How much MRT do you own?
Well, my consortium,
Uh-uh.
not myself, but
Uh-uh,
my
consortium.
consortium, which I lead,
Oo.
we own 100% of it.
Still own 100%
Yes.
of it?
Yes.
And why are you not being consulted?
That's the big question, and even the Senate is asking the question, why are the owners not being consulted?
Wala pa bang turnover niya sa BOT? Under the BOT
Okay.
terms?
We have turned over the, dapat yung operations lang ang kanila. Yung
Oo.
maintenance should be ours.
Oo. Under
But-
contract.
But they took over the maintenance also.
Mm.
They assumed the maintenance, they took it over, and that's why it's a mess, no? Nung araw, hindi naman natin napapag-usapan yung MRT, di ba?
Oo, yes sir.
Takbo lang ng takbo yan eh. Hindi naman yan napapag-usapan, wala namang problema. And in 2012, they terminated the Sumitomo contract, and then they appointed PH Trans. Doon nag-umpisa
Ang problema.
Within a month of that appointment, nag-crash out nga yung MRT sa Taft, di ba?
Oo.
If you recall.
And now they're accusing of sabotaging it.
Sabotage.
O, di ba? Pagka-ari mo nga, bakit mo sa sabotage?
Who in his right mind would sabotage a mass transport system?
Oo, yan ang kailang
And-
kailang,
and-
di ba?
And for what reason, di ba?
Oo.
So, I mean, clearly, in 12 years, nothing of that sort ever happened. And within a month of their appointment, may nangyari. So, you can see that it's more or less the management and the maintenance that was at fault.
Di ba, the latest pa ngayon, naka-open yung door, tumatakbo.
Tumatakbo, nakabukas, tumatakbo, walang aircon.
Tapos minsan, hindi pabuksan naman, na-trap
Tapos
naman.
tumitirik, people are let down and walk, I mean, this already happens every day. It's already part of the MRT fiasco, no?
Oo.
And that was never the case before. So,
What is the immediate relief of MRT commuters? Since you still are the owners, what relief can they ask from the owners, the consortium?
Well,
If
first-
the government cannot deliver the services they want, can they demand the same thing from the MRTH?
the owners, MRT Holdings, we have many proposals with government to fix it.
Oo.
At no cost to government.
Yeah, at no cost.
Kami ang magbabayad. They have not acted on it.
Since when pa yan, sir?
Since panahon pa ni ni ERAP, we were already, year 2000, we were already proposing.
Mm-mm.
And then year 02, year 03, year 05,
Anong proposal
year
yun
07, was to basically upgrade, add more trains, because we knew that there would be more passengers, and upgrade the system, add more trains.
Pero right now, you are not into the operations. It is
No,
the government
we're
already.
completely out of it because the government took over everything.
Since
including
2012.
maintenance. Since 2012. So, that's why nagkaka-problema na ngayon. They're trying to do it themselves and they're not qualified to do it.
Kasi na-turn over na under the BOT, na-turn over na sa
Oo.
government.
May proposal na kami, even as of now, as we speak, na to take over the MRT and basically pay for all of the repairs. Fast track to repair it back to its normal condition and then add trains.
Mm-mm.
Again, at no cost to government. But government has not responded. And in the case of one of our partners, Metro Pacific, they have even, I heard, they rejected the proposal of Metro Pacific of Manny Pangilinan.
Oo, ano ba yun? Akala ko yung MRT7 sila.
Hindi, MRT3 din.
Ah,
So they were
okay.
proposing to fix it. Rineject din ng government.
Ano
So-
pa, what's left with the MRT consumers? I mean, the commuters, ano pang what's left for them? Where they can turn to if the
Well,
government...
I hope we can turn to the next president.
Oh. Oo nga naman, ang matter of 70, less than 70
In a
days.
matter of 19 days, I think,
What if the
there will
next...
be a new election.
What if the next administration happens to be madaang matuwid pa rin, tuloy-tuloy pa rin?
Tuwid-tuwid pa rin yung problema. Tuwid-tuwid pa rin yung problema.
Daang matuwid pa rin, lulup pa, tayo.
We will just have more of the same.
Sige,
No.
game lang to, sir, What do you expect kung si Po naman ang
Kung si?
Po, Grace Po,
Well,
na
si
more listen to you during the...
Senator Poe has spent a lot of time studying it, hearings, understands the problem, understands the solution, I think, of the MRT. More than anyone, because she already studied it.
Oh.
She, in detail, they dealt on it and came up with
Okay.
a resolution. No, so all she will do is implement that resolution she made. Di
Okay.
ba?
Oo.
Deal with the private sector, terminate the existing contracts, file graft charges with everybody involved, all the way up to the secretary.
Mm.
We already know what she will do. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Binay.
Si, B- si Bina.
Oh, yung commercial niya, latest political ad niya, train yung ano eh. Pero napakagandang train yun ha. Napakalinis.
I think ganito, no? Si both Binay and Duterte, they're both lawyers.
Okay.
The first thing the lawyers will do is take a look at the contracts.
Uh-huh.
Because the contracts will tell you what you can do and what you cannot do.
Oh, yeah.
And if they read the contracts, they will see that the only way to fix it is to deal with the owners. Kasi we are the owners, we have every right to fix it and to add trains and to do, because that's how it should be.
Mm.
Susundin nila yung kontrata kasi lawyers sila eh.
Mm.
So it will also solve the problem. Because they're lawyers, they will honor contracts, di ba? And
Pati si Miriam, lawyer din.
pati si Miriam, lawyer din.
Ah.
So, ganun din yon. So, I think, pag naiba lang yung ano natin, yung daan, hindi masyadong matuwid, mapunta lang tayo sa ibang daan na tama,
Ah.
siguro maayos yung MRT. Alam na natin yung daang matuwid eh.
Okay.
Dito na tayo ngayon, no? Nagkagulo-gulo na yung MRT. So, siguro, time to look for another way.
Oo. At least yung cap, nabibigyan pa sila ng, pero dito sa MRT, walang nangyayari sa commuter.
Wala.
Nakapila pa rin sila.
Hindi kami gustong-gusto namin tumulong, gustong-gusto namin ayusin, hindi naman kami payagan ayusin. Ano? Gusto nila sila lahat nag-award ng contract. Eh.
Oo nga.
Siguro naiintindihan nyo na yun. No?
Teka, baka ma-subjudice pa tayo ng Sandigan Bayan.
Yeah.
Di ba yung order ng Sandigan Bayan eh, pati media and any other persons talking
Oh,
about,
but-
we're not talking about the MRT3 case.
But we're not talking about Bitanggol.
Oh, we're not talking about
We're
Bitanggol.
talking about...
Kami mention lang siya. Safe pa rin tayo.
Yeah.
Di pa tayo cover ng gag order.
Correct.
Anyway, any questions from the floor? Para... sige, Tracy.
Can you categorically say that if Marcos becomes president, more problems will happen in the country?
If Mar Rojas becomes president and continues the current management of the... Definitely there will be more problems. It will not be solved.
Yun na.
Mali eh. Ganun kasimple. It will not be solved. It will never be solved because he was the Secretary of Transportation. Diyan naman nag-umpisa yung problema eh. It was during his term. During his term, this problem happened.
2012 sabi mo.
Yes, he was secretary
Ito
in
po,
2012 and 2013.
2011.
The Sumitomo contract, okay, it should have been bidded out during his time. Okay, kung gusto nilang i-bid, do a proper bidding, di ba? Hindi. Hindi niya binid out, he did not act on it, he allowed it to lapse so that nang nangyari, emergency procurement ang tawag nila. In short, no bidding. Award na lang.
Kasi lagi nagpe-fail bidding, di ba?
Wala nga bidding. No, walang bidding at all.
Hindi, nagkaroon sila kasi to justify the emergency bidding, 3 failed biddings.
In the first case, hindi.
Wala.
In this case, there was no failed bidding.
Okay.
There was never any bidding. Ang reason lang nila, they ran out of time to give it to
Yun ang emergency.
Yun ang emergency. And that emergency was created by the inaction of the previous secretary in not awarding it. And that was Mar Rojas.
Teka muna.
Teka, aralin natin.
Okay, Tracy.
Your contract was terminated.
The Sumitomo contract maintenance, yes.
So it was terminated and there's a new contract.
Right, yes.
Is it worse than the previous one?
Definitely worse. I'll tell you simply, napaka-simple. Yung Sumitomo contract, nagbibigay ng parts at saka service. Parts and service. Now, everybody will understand this. If you have a car, if you have a jeep, anything, kailangan mo ng pyesa kung gusto mo i-maintain. If you want it to keep on running, you need parts and you need to change it, no?
The same compatible.
Mas lalo na yung train. di ba?
Compatible dapat sa system mo.
Nabugbog yan. So, Sumitomo, out of their contract, 60% of that went to buy parts. 40% to provide service. Yung bagong service provider, we found out in the Senate, never bought parts. They got the amount, and they only gave service, no parts. O di talagang masisira up to now. So that's the problem. The real problem is all the service providers, ATP Global, PH Trams, namely, those two, never put in and never invested in parts. And that's the reason nagkasira-sira. Ang ginagamit nilang pyesa is kinakannibalize nila yung ibang train.
Oo.
Kung may sira, kukunin nila dun sa isang train. Kaya ngayon, kalahati na lang ng mga train ang tumatakbo.
How many ba yung coaches natin?
During the time of Sumitomo, there were 20 trains or 60 cars running. 60 na bagon. Ngayon, mga 7 to 8 trains na lang yung tumatakbo.
Kaya pala ganun.
Kaya ganun. So, ang laki nang nawala na, and then, the bottom line is this. During the time of Sumitomo, 550 to 600,000 people were riding the MRT. Today, about only half, 300,000 na lang nakakasakay. Wala nang sasakyan wala na yung mga bagon Yung 300,000 na yun, nasaan na?
Nasaan na?
Nasa EDSA na. Kaya nga traffic na.
Tsaka bumili ng mga kotse. Na,
Dati yung mga nagkokotse, kung nasa Quezon City, paparada nila sa Trinoma, sasakay ng train papuntang Makati. Di ba? Yung nasa Makati, pupuntang Quezon City, ganun din, nagte-train ngayon sila, dala na ng kotse dahil wala na silang masasakay na train.
Efficient mass transport system.
So that is the main cause of the traffic, the bogging down of the MRT. If they had allowed us to put more trains, the MRT could carry 1.2 million people a day. Okay, do you know how many buses that means? About the equivalent of 2,000 buses ang mawawala sa EDSA. Do you know how many buses are franchised to run on EDSA? 1,920.
Meron pang butal
1,920. Yung official. May unofficial, di ba? May colorum.
Colorum.
So, in short, we can remove practically all the buses from EDSA kung aayusin lang yung MRT at dadagdagan ng mga bagon. Yun ang talagang solusyon.
We had Mar Rojas in our town round table last week, and he was mentioning about his plans to transform yung LNG buses.
Buses?
LNG run, LNG liquefied natural gas as his transport policy.
Alam mo,
LNG liquefied natural gas.
put that in the context of EDSA. Wrong. Very wrong. Ang problema ng EDSA, pollution is one.
Pero LNG nga supposedly environment friendly.
The MRT is run by power.
Lang pollution yun.
Wala. Okay? So dapat yung MRT ang solusyon. Yung bus will occupy more space on EDSA. Do we have more space on EDSA for more buses?
Wala nga infra.
Wala na nga Hindi mo na nga malaman kung ilang oras ka bago makarating sa pupuntahan mo Hindi ba? Minsan 2 oras, minsan 3, hindi mo na malaman So, that's people even miss their flights on the airport kasi nata-traffic. So, the point is not adding more buses on EDSA, whether it's electric, whether it's green,
LNG,
the solution is to add more trains on the MRT, on the mass transport, and remove the buses from the public roads. That's the point. That's the correct answer.
Speaking of more mass transport system, ngayon today, as I mentioned earlier, MRT7 is groundbreaking.
Yes.
Ano ang epekto nun sa MRT when the MRT7 comes? Hindi ko alam kung saan yung MRT 4, 5, 6, may 7 na.
Yeah, well, yung 7, supposedly they're groundbreaking
Today,
and they continue. That it remains to be seen if
Sa Cavite yan, sir, no?
it will go, yeah, but it remains to be seen if that will actually be completed, no? I'm not sure.
Groundbreaking lang naman, ceremonial lang yan
So there was parang a announcement of financial closing, but wala namang banks. I didn't hear about the banks involved. They didn't announce any banks. So I'm not sure how they're funding it. So
based from your experience.
Based on my experience, when I announced financial closing, I was backed up by the JBIC of Japan, Bank of Tokyo Mitsubishi, Bank of BI, a whole consortium of banks, including Citibank, etc. They funded it, and they basically funded it up to about $675 million.
Fully paid ka naman nun?
Fully paid na, tapos na yun.
Wow,
All paid.
okay.
So,
675 million, fully paid
dollars.
after how so many years?
10 years. inunang bayaran yung bangko
Oo.
bago bayaran yung owners.
Okay.
Kaya yung sinasabi nilang good deal sa owners, parang naging good deal. Hindi kami binayaran ng 10 years, inuna muna yung bangko. In the meantime,
That's under the BOT.
yeah, BLT.
BLT. Oh.
So, nag-umpisa yung bayad sa amin sa year 11 hanggang year 25. Makukuha lang namin yung sabi nilang mataas na 15%.
Mm-mm.
Makukuha lang namin yun on year 25.
2025.
2025. 25 years after. So ikaw, pag sinabihan kang mag-invest ka, Marichu,
Mm.
you will start making back your money after 10 years.
Mm.
At kikita ka ng 15% at 25 on the 25th year.
Under the 55.
Eh, yun ba, papasukin mo, di ba?
Pero sa'yo sa MRT
So,
3.
it's a good deal for government. That's the
Oo.
point. No?
So, natapos, kailan sa'yo, sir? Yung sa 25, yung BLT mo, 25 years.
yeah. So,
So,
10
kailan ka nabayaran ng 11th year? 20?
2011.
2011?
Nag-umpisa.
Doon kailan palang i-repay kayo, doon na
Nung
kayo kinat off ng ano?
Ngayon, di ba, may MRT fund.
Oo.
Doon na pumupunta yung pera. Binili naman ng gobyerno yun. They own it already. 80% was purchased by the government during
Kaya
the GMA.
naka-take over sila.
Kaya naka-take over sila at kaya naman
Taxpayers money yung ba na yun?
well,
Or
DDP
sold?
Land Bank. DDP
Ah,
Land Bank
okay.
ginamit. So, lahat ngayon ng kita ng MRT napupunta sa DDP Land Bank.
Which they merge. Kaya
Which
pala,
they're trying to merge.
Ah,
Yes.
through an executive order.
Correct.
Ay, chartered yung dalawang yun.
Yes. So,
Chartered banks.
that's where the
Ayun.
funds go. It doesn't go to us. It goes to DBP Land Bank.
Okay. Financial engineering.
So, anyway, yan ang storya ng MRT. But, the unfortunate thing, Marichu, is we just hope na government would honor contracts because contracts are envisioned to fix problems.
Mm.
If you want to fix the problem, honor your contracts and oblige the contracting party to fix it. Di ba? Hindi yung gusto na nung ayusin nung contracting party, ayaw mo naman siyang papasukin at ikaw na nag-take over.
Changing the rules in the middle of the game, baga.
And you know the real problem is this. They're
Oo.
now using government money on the MRT on a system that is privately owned.
O kasi nasa
Hindi
iyo
ata,
yun eh.
hindi ata legal yun, di ba?
Oo. Kailan matatapos yung 25
Pwede mo
year
bang
nyo?
gamitin yung public funds on
Oo.
2025?
Sa 2025 talaga matatapos pa lang yun.
So,
And now government is paying for
Spending on our system that we own.
Dahil nga sa bond.
That's not legal. Yeah. That's not legal.
Ay, may kontrata pa nga sinasabi mo.
Yeah.
Honor the contract.
Yeah. Honor the contract because that's the way to solve problems.
Mm.
Yeah. That contract was awarded by President Cory Aquino.
Oo.
Cory Aquino yan eh.
Oh, when was that again?
Panahon ni Cory Aquino.
Natapos siya 1992 eh.
92.
Oh, 92.
92. It was awarded in 92. I took it over in 96.
Ramos, oh.
During the Ramos.
Structure na.
And I finished it in 2000. 99 pa nga, di ba?
Oh, yung inauguration.
Hirap.
Oo.
So, even in those days of Cory and then FDR and then ERAP, those contracts were honored
Oo.
and followed. Pagpasok nitong administration, hindi na sinundan yung kontrata, kaya nagkagulo-gulo. And that's the unfortunate thing.
Okay. So, it's not a good prognosis for MRT-7.
Well, if they eventually get the funds to do it, it will, then they can probably build it out. No?
Saka hindi naman ibang line naman sila, hindi competitor ng
No,
MRT.
no. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hindi naman nagkasundo sa'yo.
Papasok tayo kung may mga sa mga dealing sa government. Baka hindi kayo nagkasundo ng SOP ng administration. Can you say that, sir? Hindi, honestly, we have to dig into the problem, sir.
Well, on that matter,
Meron ba nanghihingi sa'yo na?
on that matter, I think I would defer to Mr. Bitanggol. Siya na nga nagsasabi, di ba? Hindi ba?
Oh, teka, magbasubjudice tayo.
Binabasa ko yung mga statements niya in the media. Ang sinasabi niya, may mga X% here, X% there, yung mga pinagbigyan nila.
Hindi na nga sila owner, di ba?
Alam mo yung sa amin, they simply refuse to deal with us. Ganun lang. Yeah, they just simply refuse. They just wanted to take it over. Gusto nila sila yung mandando.
Bakit kayo naisa ng gobyerno nabili MRT bonds without you knowing it?
Hindi, yung MRT bonds, they bought it from my partners.
Who's your partners? Filipino din?
Ayala,
Okay.
who sold their rights, National Bookstore, etc. No? Ramcar, United Lab.
Na-outvote ka.
Binenta nila yung mga bonds nila doon. And our bonds were sold in the past to retire our corporate debts. No? So we didn't sell it to the government. And ginawa ng kondisyon ng government to take over their board seats. Ayun. So, kaya na-control nila yung kumpanya. Up to now.
DBP and Land Bank na ang
DBP Land
controlling. Sino ba MRT board ngayon?
It's composed of DBP Land Bank nominees.
Sila dapat pala sisihin ng mga lintik na to.
Yan. Well,
Hindi lang DOTC.
hindi lang DOTC.
Any questions from the floor? Because we know Mr. Sobrepeñas is also a busy man. Okay.
Sir, question po. What are the dangers of forcing winter trains to run now? The ones that they got.
Okay. First of all, the new trains were never really properly tested.
Dalian.
The Dalian trains. No? The Dalian manufacturer, first of all, has never made such a train. This is the first time they
Ano
made.
yung original train natin?
That was a train made in the Czech Republic by CKD Tatra. Kasi
Okay.
yung expertise nila nandun.
Marami.
So, nung dinala namin yung CKD Tatra train, we actually brought the whole train in. It was tested in the Czech Republic for more than 6 months. 6 na buwan yun, ikot ng ikot sa Czech. It passed the test, it was brought here, and then we tested it here for over a month. It went through very rigorous testing. Tsaka lang kami nagsakay ng tao. Dito, dumating yung bagon, walang makina. Dumating yung bagon,
Shell lang.
kulang-kulang, shell
Shell
lang.
lang,
Dito nila inassemble, problema na yon, di ba? And then, dito nila tinetest sa MRT. So, it is not being tested properly. Because number one, you have to run it at 65 kilometers per hour during the test. You cannot run the trains at 65 kilometers because their speed limit now is between 20 to 40 kilometers. So if they are running it slower than what it should be. So the test is, I would say, not sufficiently done. No, yun ang danger. And of course, a manufacturer who is inexperienced in this kind of train, a double articulated train. So that's a problem, no. Lately, I heard that the trains don't even have a signaling device.
At saka yung trucks, di ba? Yung trucks din.
The tracks are you know.
May problem din, hindi rin na natin-fix.
Doon nga ako nagtataka, bumili sila ng 7 kilometers worth of brand new rail in June last year. Hanggang ngayon, hindi nila nakakabit. Hindi nila nakakabit.
Why?
We should ask the OTC. Bumili sila ng riles, hindi naman nila kinabit. Wala daw silang...
Nakakalawang na yun.
Kinakalawang na lang yan, kung saan man yun. So, the tracks remain broken. They have brand new trains, brand new tracks that are just sitting in the depot, no? They have not awarded it. They have not awarded a contract to put the new rails. Since June.
Supply lang pala yun.
Supply lang, walang
services.
installation.
Oo, installation.
Oo,
June
okay.
last year.
June last year.
Dahil may mga kalawang na yun by this time. 7 kilometer long.
7 kilometers. I'm not sure because they have not awarded the contract, no? But
So,
it'll
subcontract
probably
pa nila.
take about a year.
Just to put blade.
It'll probably take a
They
year.
have,
So, they have to take... Alam mo, nung panahon ng Sumitomo, basta may konting diferensya yung track, pinapalitan na ng bago yan. Palit kagad yan because they had a lot of inventory of new tracks. Ngayon, mukhang kinaklamp na lang eh. Diba? Ginagamitan ng fish clamp, wina-welding, ginagawa na lang ng paraan. Pinoy ingenuity ang ginagamit. Pinoy ingenuity. So, but that is not the standard of a mass transport system. Dapat yan talagang brand new lagi yung mga pyesa.
So between now and the next administration, the MRT3 commuters will have to bear and grin with this
Well, like I said, in 19 days, we will have an
election.
election. We will hopefully have a new direction on how to solve the MRT, by the new president. And we're looking forward to that.
Any more questions?
Sir, you mentioned po na
dangerous yung new trains because they're not being run properly. So, what would you advise the riding public who continue to take the MRT?
Siguro, to the public, hintayin muna natin siguro na yung DOTC ang sumakay doon, tsaka gobyerno, themselves, bago nila sakyan, no? I mean,
Even the new one or the old one?
the new one, because when we tested our trains, linagyan namin ng mga sandbags to approximate the weight of the riding public. We ran it for a month using sandbags. Yung weight, yung full weight. Tumatakbo yun, sandbags lang ang laman, for over a month testing. Ito, tinest nila, and then after the testing, gusto nila pasakayin yung mga commuters. There's a big difference, between riding sandbags and putting commuters. So, it may work, it may not work. I'm not saying absolutely that it won't work. It may work. But in the mass transport, in our view, the word may is not acceptable. The word may is not acceptable. You have to be sure 100% that it will work. Okay, so that's really the danger, is they're not following the protocol. They're not even following their own contracts. But they're rushing to try to get this train on the rail before the change of the administration. And that's where the dangers come in. That's where we are worried as the owners too, And that's why I've come out in public to say that there are dangers to this because the protocols have not been followed strictly per contract. And you can look at it in the terms of reference itself of the DOTC. Hindi nasunod.
You said they're rushing it before the change of admin.
Yes.
Para po bumango si Mar Rojas. Ganun po ba, sir?
For whatever reasons they may have, they just want it to be available before the change of the new administration. And you could speculate that it is politically motivated.
No more question because we're gonna ask Mr. Sobrepeña to give his closing statement, and I would like to thank him now for gracing our invitation for him and shed light on these matters of national importance to us. Sir, your closing statement po.
No, I'd just like to say that, well, first of all, thank you for inviting me over, again, to hear the side of the private owners of the MRT. We as the private owners have made many proposals to fix the system through all the years. Through the very least, we have made proposals to government over the last 15 years to add trains and to fix it. In accordance with our contract, we are hoping that the next administration will do the right thing, give the private owners a chance to fix it, and fix it at no cost to government, and fix it the way it should be fixed. And that is, the people who designed it, built it, maintained it well for all the years, allow us to come back and fix the system and take away all the dangers to the riding public. That's really what we hope will happen in the next few weeks as a new president will come in.
On that note, we hope that Mr. Sobrepeña may get his wish in behalf of the MRT commuters now bearing the frustrations and dangers of riding over these MRT trains. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat din. And I hope we have an honest and clean election.
Sino ba sinusuportahan mo?
I just hope we have an honest and clean election so that we can have the proper guy there,
Opo. We join you in that prayers.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Martin.